Tuesday, October 22nd. Market analysis, Stan Ehrlich. Okay, 9:52 California time, just a little past the middle of this traditional trading day, 6:30 to 1 o'clock in California, stock market hours. And what do we got? Stock market indexes I cover first, and then futures. And sometimes I go to other things like cycles. The October lows have been on my mind for a couple of months already. And forex or crypto or chart formation, a variety of stuff. Okay, here we go. We see a lower low today. Earlier, the E-mini daily chart. So what happened last night? And so far, there's not a lot of downside follow through, only down about a point, a little over 11 in the E-mini numbers. But it opened at its high and then started to drop off, made that lower low, and then bounced back a little. This could be the start of something bearish. I really need to see it follow through. That's been my problem all along here for the last couple, 3-4 weeks. When it gets started, which is great, that sell signal on October 1st. Great. The beginning of October started to drop. Great. But found support, ended up holding and making total new highs, historic new highs, and now is flattening out at the tops and starting just barely to make minor new lows for the last 3 days. Getting below 58.49 would be a step in the bearish direction. Staying below it would be another step in the right direction. Then I think we have a much greater chance of coming down to at least 52.21, closing below 52.21, which could happen pretty quickly. Remember, we don't have very large trading ranges lately. Now, back in here at the beginning of September, we have some pretty large trading ranges, but it's calmed down considerably since then. The average true range has diminished significantly. So it's just not having the downside follow through. I got to see the follow through. That's all there is to it. I see the beginnings and they're not coming through. And then we ended up making new highs again. That's indicative of bull markets. That's what they do. But if you have new lows and it stays down there and closes lower and you see more of it than the next day or 2 or 3, that is not necessarily indicative of a bull trend. It could be the beginning of a bear or during a bear or whatever, but not particularly bullish. Now, the detail is the minor new low, 6:20 this morning, actually, not that early in the late night, and it bounced. And right about now, we're pretty close to high and last for the bounce. But the bounce is coming back up to a very normal price range, in my opinion, and could easily roll over and make new lows, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Next, spider, as you would imagine, same thing. Detail, next, minor new low this morning than yesterday. It's a new low for past 3 days, but it's come back up, made a new high for the morning session, and not doing too much. Down 1.79 at the moment. No damn big deal. It's not like it's down 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12 points. That would be very interesting. Qs. Daily data chart. Doji inside day, no lower than yesterday's lows so far. It is down 2 points. I like what I see, but it's not good enough. I want it to break and close below 492.5. In particular, 487 would be a lot better on the QQQ. And I expect completely that we'll get below 477 if I'm right. And I only have less than 2 weeks to do this. Now, Thursday next week is the end of October. Friday next week is November. Here we are Tuesday the week before. Okay, so you know my downside objectives. Support areas are there. I really, really want to get down to 448 and lower. That would make me very happy during the month of October. Next, QQQ, slipping, no new low, nighttime low significantly lower, came back up, slipping again, sideways last few days. NASDAQ futures, inside day, no higher than yesterday's high, no lower than yesterday's low, and not down very much on the day at the moment. I just don't see the follow through to the downside yet. I am concerned that this thing could all of a sudden jump in a new high ground, and I don't want that. Don't expect that. The October lows have worked over 90% of the time since 1993, 31 years ago. So why not again? The last couple of years have been fantastic. Well, that's my expectation, but you've got to see it start. I had plenty of evidence in all those previous years that we were going to see something happen in October, but this year, not so far. Week and a half left. Next, NASDAQ futures rallied back up near the high of the day. No breakouts. Could roll over again. Next, we've got the YM, the Dow Jones futures contract, and it did make a new low for 1, 2, 3, almost 4 days. So it's only 3 past days. And it's almost back up to unchanged, high and last. I'm not getting the follow through on the downside, which could happen later in the day. And the details, support bounced right off of the lows of 4 days ago. Still, coming up a little. It's down on the day, but very small amount. Next, we've got the Russell. Now, overbought conditions in a resistance area where it's topped out before in a very, very profound resistance area. Remember, yesterday I showed you the last few years. I'll do it again. That doesn't matter. It's only the tops we're looking at. Okay. Market bottomed out in January of 21 all the way through January of 22, a year at around these price levels. So we traded for 2 or 3 years below there, bottomed out. And when we come back to this very important 1 year, multiple tests of support back then, price range approximately, we're topping out again and again and again. So where are we going to go? Probably back down to 2070. Best I can come up with at the moment. Looks very plausible. We got a couple of great buy signals lately. Next. Okay, so it's making some minor new lows for 5 days. Bonds. Ladies and gentlemen, it has come true. I drew in this yellow slanted line, this one right here, back on probably September 25th, almost a full month ago, which is a prediction of what I thought the bond market might be able to do come down into the middle of October timeframe, come down into the middle of my vertical range for this box area. I used to have a circle in there, no big deal, about the same thing. I drew the box around the circle. The downside objective for the head and shoulder top formation has worked past tense and was fulfilled on October 10th. Now we see a very big sharp down day yesterday, hitting support, follow through to the downside today, hitting support, still in support at the turn of my 2 yellow lines, which I had drawn in, like I said, almost a full month ago, way before. Well, let's put it this way. That was my prediction back then, and reinforced by the fact that I saw a shoulder for head and shoulder. Next day, tried to break out, did not succeed. Next day, breakout. Downside objective now in force, and the minimum objective to the downside would have been a little under 120, which it got to on October 10th. Rallied. No follow through. Couple 3 days up. Crashed into new lows. Now it's a different story. New low in price, divergence, no new low in the indicator. Got to my support level, what I wanted. Middle of October, give or take a little, what I wanted. Everything is here. All I have to do, I hope, is to get a green bullish engulfing. It would be great if it was something like what happened back on July 5th and start to head higher. Now, I think this is the last shoulder, October of this year, of a very large 2-year head and shoulder bottom formation, which has double shoulders. It might look a little bit better to you people if I do this, which is okay. It doesn't change a damn thing. This is the first shoulder low, October of 22. Another inside shoulder. The head of the formation with an ER buy signal on the low day, October of 23, and it's still the low day. Great trade out of that signal. The first inside shoulder was April of 24 this year, spring. Now in the fall, October again is our last, I think, about to happen, hasn't happened yet. Last shoulder low on a very large head and shoulder bottom, which, if in the next several weeks, a month or two maybe, it breaks out above the neckline, which is right here, of this very large head and shoulder bottom, we would generate a minimum upside objective of 150. And we're trading at the moment at 118. Gigantic, if it works. But you got to speak up at the time you got to speak up. Before it's past tense, 2020 hindsight doesn't do you much good. Next, 10-year notes are damn near the same. Just barely today got into my rectangle in October, below my first expectation for support level and price objective. The timing might be a day or 2 or 3 late, but still October. New lows, now for the first time again oversold. Prime target to move back up. Will it keep going back up? Next chart, crude oil. We got out of our short 2 days ago. Great short trade. There's a little green line right here that represents the short price on an ER3 rally back up into approximately the middle of the range of the signal day, which is the red day. And we're short near the rally high on October 10th. Stopped out 2 days ago, unfortunately, near the high of the day, but it was an outside down day, and that could be in especially oversold condition, which this was not. A bass-backwards reversal. I do mention that phrase for the lack of a better word. Sorry about that. I don't know what to call it yet, but now it's gone straight up. Yesterday it closed higher. Today it's making new highs for 5 days, 6. This is 6-day, highest high for the last 6 days, including today. So this bass-backwards obviously is work past tense. I was suspicious at the time, trying to develop a code to take advantage of this and not get hurt too badly, but I think I actually thought of something this morning. Next, we have an outside down day also, not oversold in the heating oil. Got stopped out of our very profitable previous short position. Unfortunately, no particular reversal, no green bars. So, waiting for a signal. I think the heating oil stands a chance of working up a little bit higher, but we'll see what happens when it gets into this resistance of 2.26 up to 2.3. And it's not very far away all of a sudden. It's a pretty damn strong up day. Next, natural gas. Yesterday we did have almost a bullish engulfing. The high yesterday was 2.369, but the high the previous day was 2.248. And of course, 48 is above 6. Just a moment. 7. I'm sorry, I read the wrong number. The high yesterday was 2.370. That's what I was looking for. And yesterday, 6.9, so one tick below Friday's high was Monday's high. Damn near a bullish engulfing, would have turned green, would have been a buy signal, didn't quite make it. We did get out of our short, stopped out of our short, which was extremely profitable. We sold short on October 4th and got out yesterday. And today, it's up a little. It's trying to see if it can make new highs. Maybe it did by a couple of ticks, but I want it to stay up there, close up there, and rally up more now that I'm not short. And I also have to point out we did get out on the low day, not at the lowest low, but on the day that it's turned around so far. Okay, next, gold. Overbought, 81, pretty much the same as silver. I'll show you in a moment. I can't tell you where it's going to top out at the moment. I have to rely on my signals and other tools. So we're ready to top out, but don't do anything yet because you're premature. Let's see if we can get a signal out of this or some indication it's starting to move down. The first move down should be to at least 2691. Next support is at 2618. And then very good significant support starting down at 2558. And if we do get down there, we could very well be oversold by that time. So those are my first 3 levels on the downside, but it hasn't started to go down yet, so don't jump the gun. Silver is exactly the same story. New high, 8201 RSI. Prime target to start to reverse, but it hasn't done it yet. First downside objective would be back into the support level at 33.5, down to probably 32.5. Then I would be looking for 30.30 and maybe all the way down to 27.6. Next, platinum. Not the same story at all these days, but it looks like it's just running behind gold and silver, trying to catch up. Strong, new highs, looks like probable new high close, not quite overbought yet. So I think it can jump up to at least 1060 and maybe come all the way back up into the range where it topped out before, which is around 11 plus. It'll be definitely overbought by then. Frankly, it's going to be overbought pretty soon if it just keeps popping up here for another few hours or a day or two. Next, copper. We have a sell signal on the top of the market. 2 days later, we got short almost at the high of the rally. Closed with a very small loss on the first day. After that, pure profit. Every single day was profitable. We finally got stopped out yesterday. Today, we're higher than the close of yesterday, which was a lot lower than we got stopped out. So it looked like we kind of made a mistake. We could have gotten better, but I'm not crying over spilt milk. We made money, and that's good. So I'm waiting for a signal. We're in support. We'll see what happens. No particular comment other than that. Now, soybeans. Starting to rally out of the oversold condition. We found support 3 days in a row at very, very close prices, which were close to this previous low. Now, if this turns out to be an important low for weeks and months to come, it'll look like a double bottom on a longer term chart, which this is a daily data chart, and it'll be a 2-month double bottom. And that is a very normal size for double bottom formations. A month or 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, getting a little bit on the larger side. Rarely are they a year or more. So this could develop in something very bullish. I've been looking for something to talk about for a long-term bull move. And on beans, there it is. Premature. I need a lot more strength to start being a lot more confident about this being an actual double bottom. But hey, that's how they start. Next, soybean oil. Nice rally. No particular double bottom. Maybe the lows that we saw back here in April, March, April, May, June, or March, May, June, July, sorry, are part of something. Those lows got broken. You bottomed out, oversold, came back up, bottomed out again at a higher price, I might add. Then we started to make higher highs over time, pulled back, came up to a little bit of a double top, broke out to the downside, but it didn't stay there. Now we're coming up very, very quickly. If we start closing above 45.13-ish, let's call it 45. Nah, the highest high was here, 45.30. Start closing above 45.30. I'm going to start talking intermediate to long-term bullish. And maybe I've got a price formation to use as measurement purposes. I think I could. I might. I don't want to go there right now. Meal, kind of the same story. A little bit between a rock and a hard spot. Same price levels topped out over several months since May, late April. Bottomed out at approximately the same range, 300 down to 290-ish for the year, during the year. Got oversold, starting to rally a little. Today we're down slightly. Don't see anything particularly important about this. Going to have to wait. Corn. I can't believe this is so damn accurate. This is the reason why I built ER signals. Sell signal on October 8th. ER1 overnight, new short, green dotted line all the way down to last Friday. Last Thursday, stopped out near the high. Great trade. After the initial sell signal on October 8th, we have another sell signal October 10th. At the same time, on the same day, our rally high was 2 ticks above the new short offer price that had been resting there for 2 days already, and we almost sold the exact high of the day. Missed by 2 ticks. Short from 423.50. The high on that day was 424, and down we go. All the way down corn until yesterday, when we have another bullish engulfing. The first one was Thursday last week, the start of this rally, the low of the move down, and an ER buy signal. Got out of shorts. Got long ER1 scalp and ER1 overnight. ER1 scalp, I can't tell. It looks like we made a penny or lost a penny. No big deal. ER1 overnight got stopped out the next day. Unfortunately, there's your red dotted line. It came down almost enough to get into a brand new ER3 at this green trigger line. And guess what happened yesterday? The green trigger line is exactly at 403 and a quarter. Yesterday's low was 403. We missed the low by 1 tick, and we missed the rally high here by 2 ticks. I've never seen that before. It's damn near impossible to do. This is an automated trading system, 100%. It did it. Now we are in an ER3, excuse me, ER1 scalp, made a little money yesterday, and ER1 overnight, we should have been in a trade. I have to check on that. ER3 trigger, almost hit at the bottom of today's wick, not quite. Now I've got 2 more days after today to hit this green line, which will extend to the right 2 more days, but we don't need that. It'll do it automatically tomorrow. So let's see if we can just pull another miracle off. Wheat, new low for the trend, higher on the day at the moment. Possible reversal, not oversold, no green possible. But we still bought the bottom exact day on August 27th. Maybe it's trying to turn. Close to oversold, not quite. Can't be too sure about that. I'll wait. Cattle, very strong up day, near highs, back into resistance, not overbought. Could even plow through the resistance level here. Maybe. Let's see what happens at this resistance. Very critical prices we're at. Next day or two will tell. Maybe even a few hours. Next, hogs. New high. Looks like a closing price above previous highs. Granted, it's in resistance, but the top of the resistance is way up here at 90, 82.85, and we're 78.90. So it could zoom right up into the top of the resistance, which is a previous top of the market way back on April 23rd of this year. I got to be neutral to still friendly here, not overbought. If we were overbought, which we could get to very easily, then I'd be talking about topping out. But here, I think it can work up a little bit more. And back to the E-mini, we've got no particular sign that it's starting to roll over and head south. And let's look at the NASDAQ 1 minute. A little bit, but not really much. And the YM 1 minute, same thing. You guys have a great day and profitable trading to you.